What's going on, mixed reactions? Something's different about this week. We, and on the 63rd episode, have decided that we're all going to show our ugly ass faces. It's rivalry week for my Trojans. I'm excited. But me and Justin don't have much to be happy about with our football teams. And even though the Cowboys won, I'm not really sure if Casey's too happy about that. How are you doing today, Casey?
I mean, what's there really to be happy about aside from beating a rival, I guess? I mean, we just dropped our draft stock for a season that's still going nowhere. Now, granted, Cooper Rush had 117 passer rating. He played his best game of the year by far, but what is it really going to do? And it's going to hurt even more because we're probably going to beat the Giants on Thursday because everybody beats the Giants. So there's no like room for joy in this for me right now. Like as a fan, sure, celebrate a win, celebrate the fact that we beat a rival who's a playoff team. Like it was the best Dallas looked all year long outside of the Pittsburgh game. And so I mean, sure, a win's a win. Rico Dowell actually had a decent game rushing. Micah Parsons was ferocious. He was all over the field, recorded 2 sacks. They got 2 picks from Jaden Daniels, who you could argue now Bo Nix has overtaken him for Rookie of the Year. But there's really nothing to be happy about for this win. It's just hurting the draft stock. And now Jerry Jones is saying it's not out of the realm of a possibility for extending Mike McCarthy. So it looks like my heartache in Dallas is here to stay and isn't going anywhere. In my pipe dream of a scenario, as Justin called it a few episodes ago, of getting Deion Sanders as my next head coach, seems less and less likely, especially with the upcoming weeks. I mean, like I said, they got the Giants on Thursday. That's very winnable. I'm actually expecting them to win that game. Then they have a mini bye and have a home Monday night game against Cincinnati. Cincinnati's up and down. That can go either way. And then they have Carolina. So 2 out of the next 3, I kind of expect them to win. And so it's almost giving me false hope for the season, and I'm not here for it.
Yeah, it's rough times in Big G for sure.
No, it really is. There's really nothing to hang your hat on for this season at all, aside from potentially Cavante Turpin having a top 10 play of the season.
That was a
That
pretty sick move, not gonna lie.
that
I
was
watched that a couple times.
outrageous. That spin move was diabolical. He put people in a blender with that move.
And you guys still did everything possible to lose the game.
Yeah, not to mention the 80-yard bomb they lit up to Terry McLaurin with 30 seconds left. I First of all, I had Washington in 3 of my parlays on Sunday. 3 of them had Washington. Didn't have Dallas in a single one. So all my parlays went to shit right from the jump after that. Obviously, Tennessee beating Houston ruined all of them too. That's one thing that we need to address as well. CJ Stroud has had a bad season. He's at 14 touchdowns and 9 picks. That not a good season. You could absolutely say this is a sophomore slump for CJ Stroud, and maybe the film is out on him, and a lot needs to change in Houston as well. I'm not saying the quarterback needs to change, but something has to change in order to get CJ Stroud comfortable again. Now,
He's
Justin,
also he's also been without Tank Dell and Stephon Diggs. I
he
mean,
has.
for,
He absolutely
for
has. No
an
question about it.
extended period of time, and he just got Nico Collins back.
Yeah. No, that's fair. And Stephon Diggs is obviously out for the year with that torn ACL, so I absolutely understand that. Now, Justin, let's shift gears here for a minute to the Patriots. Um, Drake May by far had his worst game of the year. Absolutely looked like a rookie. And for a lack of better terms, he looked overwhelmed against the Dolphins, especially after New England went down 2 scores.
Yeah. His brightest spot was the Hooper bomb,
Yes.
which that had just from a visual perspective, that had flashes of like a Brett Favre or Aaron Rodgers kind of off platform throw, which I was like, whoa, did not see that kind of coming kind of thing from him, especially the rookie. But it was awful to watch. I mean, the Dolphins just were
They did anything they wanted to.
game maker. I mean, what pass defense? It was as if they were just coming off a game like yesterday and had no time to prep for this game. It was awful to watch. It was
Now,
awful. I mean, the offensive line couldn't block the crap. He was. I mean, how many strip sacks were there? Like 3 or 4.
I would say 4 to 5, I believe. Yeah.
It was painful to watch.
No, and like I said, it's the first time that I've noticeably looked at Dre and said he looks shook and he's not ready for this exact moment yet.
This is what we all expected to happen
Yeah.
from day one in terms of if he were to start as a starter as of day one. No, the fact that it took 6, 7 starts for him to get to this game, I'm not going to say, well, this is what was going to happen, but it was going to happen.
Of course.
It was couldn't have come at a worse time, but at the same time, I mean, it's one of those things where you know that the writing is on the wall of what New England needs to do to get this thing back to relevance. Because, like you were saying during the post game, give him a legitimate number one, whether you trade for it or you draft it, and he'll be fine.
It has to happen, though. Without that help, it's going to be the same story next year. And yeah, you could possibly see another couple wins, depending on the development of May himself. But without that true number one receiver, or in your sake too, what you've been saying, get him some protection behind that offensive line. It's putrid in New England for their offensive line. He needs protection and he needs a receiver. Hunter Henry is, like we said the other day, he's not great, but he's serviceable. Rhamondre Stevenson is, what, a top 12 back in the league? He's serviceable.
Mm-hmm.
Like top 10, like 12 to 7. You could put him anywhere in that category, and I wouldn't argue. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
Defense shown cracks this year. The defense hasn't been as good this year as I anticipated, but I guess that's natural. I guess when you're coming from a defensive mastermind like Belichick to a first-year coach in Gerard Mayo, there's going to be some setbacks. He's still working in his scheme, I bet. So there's going to be changes that are going to be made. But the improvement has to start on the offensive side of the ball, and it's got to be those skill possession players. I think even more so than the line right now, because you're going to want May to have a good rapport with the number one receiver.
There was a thing I was thinking about is in like post week 12, like kind of words and recaps that were going around. Like Malik Neighbors wants out of New York. I'll take him.
There's no way they're going to let
no, not going to happen. Not going to happen. I'll take him. Terry McLaurin, the Commanders won't let him go. We know he's in a contract.
That's not happening. I think it's going to have to come in the draft. And Justin, it could be Travis Hunter.
It could be Travis Hunter.
But is New England the type of franchise that would stick him at corner?
Only if they can't pick up a serviceable corner in the second or third round.
That's fair. I like Gonzalez, but I don't like the fact he has been targeted more than any other corner in the league this year.
Because that's the one, because they know that they're going to pin the number one, because he's going to be sticking on the opposing team's number one like glue the entire year long.
No, that's fair. I get that.
I mean, he was all over Tyreek Hill for all the good it did, less than speak. Jalen Waddle took advantage of that.
Oh, absolutely, he did.
It was, like I said, this week was painful to watch, and it was one of those things like, I knew we were going to lose. I knew we were going to lose big, but I didn't expect to look that bad that quick.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost, you had, obviously, Christian Gonzalez, I believe, had a scoop and score, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm. He did.
But it was 31-15, but we're being real. That game wasn't even as close as that score projected.
No, that was more like a 31-3 game.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it really was. I think New England can bounce back. I don't know if it's going to be this week against Indy.
They had Arizona and then 3 more losses.
Yeah. Yeah. And, at least you guys are losing properly. In Dallas, we don't even know how to tank properly because we go out on the road and beat Washington.
You know what's funny? Because we have like 4 or 5 one-score losses this year.
Yeah.
I mean, 1-score losses. I mean, the Seattle game, the first, I think it was the first Miami game was the close one, if I recall. Obviously the Texans game, the Titans game, they've been close.
Yeah.
Rams game.
They've been in it. I mean, as
Ian,
much
you're
as
off
the
camera.
show's awful, they've been competitive, and that's what that was the most that I could have asked them for this year, looking at the schedule, because the schedule was like going to go another 3-14 or worse. You still could go 3-14, but
oh, at least you guys are tanking properly. Like,
well, I wouldn't say we're
on
tanking at all. I wouldn't say we're tanking at all. I'd say we're playing to what our roster has.
That's fair.
Granted, the one game that on the schedule that I did not expect to win or to steal was obviously the Cincinnati game in week 1. But yeah, May needs help in multiple areas, but I think he's established himself as the quarterback for the Patriots' future, and I think
no question.
They hit on their first round pick this year.
Yeah,
and that's hard to say because a lot of teams in their first round pick, it's kind of hit or miss. For example, Caleb is kind of a question mark right now for Chicago because
Caleb's shown improvement over this past 3 or 4 games. He's played really well.
True, but I would say the reason I would say question mark is because he's had so much turmoil from a coaching perspective.
Yeah, that's fair. Matt Eberflus needs to go in Chicago. It just has to happen.
Yeah.
But why is the Chicago coaching tree a revolving door? They need to find a coach to settle in on. And I know I just said Eberflus needs to go, and I really believe he does. But they have gone through a string of coaches since what, Lovie Smith?
I was going Lovie Smith. In terms of nostalgia purposes and storied franchises, and the fact that Chicago's weakness isn't their offense, how about they give Bill Belichick a call?
I can't see Belichick heading to Chicago. Here's what I can see happening for Chicago. Mike McCarthy.
Yeah.
I think Mike McCarthy would fit right in with Chicago. I really do. Because
he's versed with the NFC North anyway.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And he's not the worst offensive coordinator. He's a decent quarterback developer. Look what he did with Rodgers. And he had a lot of great success with Dak as well. Mm-hmm. I think he'd be a good fit there. And despite what Jerry is kind of throwing out in the winds, I know he had 3 back-to-back 12-win seasons. I firmly believe this is Mike McCarthy's last year in Dallas still, regardless of how
kind of stuff with Jason Garrett too, and then he'd let Jason Garrett go.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't read too much into it. It's Jerry being Jerry, trying to settle the rumors until the rumors obviously come to fruition.
I'll tell you what I don't like if they do replace Mike McCarthy. Did you see who is the top coaching candidate to replace him? Is Robert Saleh.
No.
I don't want Robert Saleh.
No. I would take Robert Saleh as a defensive coordinator, and that's about as far as I would take him.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Because I hate giving up on a coordinator or a coach after the first year, but I want Zimmerman gone. This defense is a shell of itself from last year.
I wouldn't mind taking Saleh for New England. I mean, not to take these two for Marcus Covington because he's doing a decent job with what he's had to work with. But
that's fair too. Now,
yeah,
Ian, you, my friend, you didn't have a good week. You did not have a good week, sir.
Are you going to talk about the Celtics game?
I mean, we can talk about that too.
We'll get into that in a little bit, my friend.
We put the whooping on you and showed that when we have our starting 5, ain't nobody competing with us in the NBA this year. But anyways, wasn't even touching on that. Saquon Barkley ran down y'all's throat. 255 yards, is on pace to set the rushing title record this season and scrimmage yards record this season. Saquon is in absolute discussion for MVP right now, but that's another topic for another day. What the hell happened to the Rams on Sunday?
I don't know. Maybe it could start with the fact that Kyron Williams is starting looking like the second coming of Don Billingsley from Friday Night Lights. I know you refuse to watch the movie, but he starts the game.
Talking about though.
Yeah, the dude that just always fumbles. He played Tim McGraw's. Tim McGraw was his dad in the movie, but he starts out, gets a big run, and fumbles it. And I was over there in the group chat yelling, "Why are they letting him challenge?" Knowing damn well he fumbled. They end up respecting the challenge. They called it back. He did end up getting the first touchdown. And I mean Saquon Barkley. I mean Stafford got sacked 5 times.
He did.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
No, I mean the Eagles look like bona fide NFC powerhouses right now. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't have lost to Philadelphia, but the way the game unfolded, like it was 35-20, and it looked like at times Philadelphia was able to do whatever they wanted in that game.
37-20, but yeah.
37-20.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, and Saquon hit his head on the goalpost twice for 70 yards. My cat.
He's welcome. He's welcome. Get him his own Skype. But man, it was rough to watch. We were moving the ball really well on the first drive. I'm really like, I mean, to me,
on the first
Cooper
two
Kupp,
drives, you were moving the ball flawlessly.
Cooper Kupp does it. He still, to me, doesn't look 100% healthy. Puka's looking amazing. There's not a ball he's not catching out there. Got targeted 13 times, 9 catches for 117 yards. One thing I did notice quite a bit. I don't know if you noticed it. I mean, AJ Brown out there, like he was killing
Monster.
us. Monster.
Yeah.
I was watching. I watched the game Sunday. I was watching the highlights again later, and it's just Detroit might be in some trouble. I mean, Philly is rolling. I mean, Saquon obviously 26 carries, 266 yards, almost 10 yards a carry. That move that he put on, God, who the fuck did he put that move on? It was the big run that he had in the second half, the first play of the second half, and he just and the who was it?
A little bit of a shimmy, and then just took it to the house.
Yeah, what was it? Fredrickson. I mean, it was a beautiful block too, but Saquon is just, if you would have asked me 5 weeks ago, Derrick Henry was the best running back. I mean, 4 weeks ago was the best running back in the league, and it's not even close. But we were having the discussion for the other day. I mean, at this point, he's
forgot how talented and how good Saquon was when he was stuck on the Giants. Now that he has a legitimate team behind him and a legitimate offensive line, he's reminding us who the fuck he is. And I hate the Eagles with every fiber of my being. I despise that ugly ass team. But I give them so much credit for being able to make the offseason moves that they make. Every year they pick up somebody, and every year it's a noteworthy pickup, and it normally always pays out in their favor. And this year's no exception to that. Saquon is a menace.
He's been hurt too. I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen the video. I mean, especially since Saquon's been breaking out this year, it's been going viral in the Giants. You guys have probably seen it. It's in the Giants. I don't know if you call it the war room, like the coach's office. Guys over there, like, we got to pay Saquon. He's like, nah, there's other backs out there. He's like, no, pay Saquon. And then look what he's doing now. I mean, and yeah, Giants fans they're pissed. You know what I mean? I don't.
It's a total accumulation as to why the Giants are the Giants, right?
Mm-hmm.
They did not pay Saquon to pay a man they've already cut now in Daniel Jones.
Is he going to start for you guys on Thanksgiving?
Daniel Jones? No, we didn't sign Daniel Jones.
Oh, you guys didn't end up signing Daniel Jones.
Sign him?
Let me see. Hold on.
Nobody signed him yet.
All right. No, but the Giants haven't been relevant since they got rid of Tom Coughlin.
That's absolutely true.
Oh, you're right.
Much like the Jets.
The 4 teams that Daniel Jones is interested in, all 4 of these teams want him, by the way.
Minnesota,
San Francisco, Baltimore, and who was the last one? I can't recall the last one on top of my head.
Would it be Miami?
Miami, yes. Thank you, Justin. It was Miami. Yes, thank you. It's Miami, Baltimore, San Francisco, and Minnesota. All 4 of them have interest in Jones, and those are the 4 teams he wants to sign with.
All need a good backup. Obviously, Miami in case.
Depending on the health status of Brock Purdy, he may start in San Francisco.
I was going to say San Francisco at this point. I mean, they just started Brandon Allen this past weekend. I was going to say,
and with the weapons around him, is Daniel Jones. Obviously, he's not Saquon, but is it another Saquon-like story where you actually put a team around him and he succeeds?
because it's the same thing about Sam Darnold in Minnesota now.
You can Sam Darnold leads
Not to
the
the
league in red
extent,
zone
not to the
interceptions.
extent, but somewhat.
See, I think Minnesota is uber talented, right? They have the best
Mhm.
receiver in the league. Aaron Jones is a top 10 back. They are very well coached. I think Sam Darnold is going to be their downfall. I think he is going to be the reason they lose in the first round of the playoffs. Because
First round,
they're
wow.
not getting
That's
home.
out.
They're not going to get a home game because Detroit's winning the North.
Right.
So they're going to have to go on the road, and it's either going to have to be to
Philly or to
Philly or Atlanta.
Yeah. They wouldn't go to Arizona or whoever wins the West. I
No,
don't think.
because that would be remote for like the 7th and the 6th. Because I think Minnesota's going to get the 5th spot. So with
Right.
that being said, they would go to the actually no, they'd go to the 4.
Right, which could be
Minnesota
the West.
It
So
could
that'd
be,
probably be
yeah.
someone from the West. That might be Seattle.
Seattle or Arizona right now. I mean,
Yeah.
San Francisco's having problems, obviously.
It could honestly, it could end up being the Rams still. It could end up being the 49ers. The West is wide open.
And before we talk more about bringing up the Niners, something I wanted to bring up earlier, we owe Justin an apology. We pretty much both laughed at him when he said the Niners would miss the playoffs, and they are 5-6.
I will give him his kudos on that. He was dead wrong about the Bills.
I was wrong
What did
about
he
the
say
Bills.
about the Bills?
That they were
The
going to take
Bills
a
are gonna
step
fall
back.
off like the Niners.
I thought they were going to take a step back after they lost the defensive coordinator. What respect?
Yeah, I mean the Niners one was a bold decision, especially when coming into this year. I mean, the other teams in the NFC, I'm not a huge believer in Seattle. I'm happy that they got the win because that didn't vault Arizona up even further, and then we ended up getting floored. But I still thought that was a bold pick because there was so much uncertainty in the NFC West. I thought that was a really bold prediction. So
Am I crazy though for still believing in the 49ers? I think when healthy, they're
Just
still
my
the best team in that
reputation
division.
Reputation with the fact that it's Kyle Shanahan leading charge. It's not forever. I mean,
how long is Purdy hurt?
I don't know actually. I think it's an undisclosed, isn't it?
It's undisclosed. I thought it was 2 to 3 weeks.
But
I'm
that's
checking it out right now.
That's a perfect landing spot for Daniel Jones because
It is.
is he a great quarterback? No, but he's better than Brandon Allen.
He's a better stuff.
He might be better than Brock Purdy in all seriousness. With
Yeah.
a team around him.
In terms of raw talent, I'd say he's better than Brock Purdy.
Yeah, yes.
I think Daniel Jones could have taken them to the Super Bowl last year. And Brock Purdy has always struck me as, I mean, he doesn't take too many chances. I mean, look at the roster they had last. You know what I mean? Like
he doesn't have to take chances. He's got Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, Deebo Samuel.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think Daniel Jones could have done the same thing.
Injury is a huge loss, though.
Yeah.
Now the difference between these teams, right? Detroit has stars in their prime. Philadelphia has stars in their prime.
Mm-hmm.
San Francisco has stars, but they're
in their twilight.
Yes, Kittle's getting up there in age. Fred Warner's not the same player he used to be. Nick Bosa's still a beast. He's in his prime. No shame on Nick Bosa whatsoever. And McCaffrey has not looked as good since coming back from the injury this season.
This was his worst week since he came back. His first couple weeks since he was back were solid McCaffrey-esque performances.
Yes.
This week
even with that being said, he still didn't look like the McCaffrey of last year.
No, true. But the injury he's coming off of is crazy hard to come back from anyway.
Yeah.
So I can't fault him too much.
No fault. It's just there's something different with this 49ers team, and for some reason I'm not ready to throw in the towel on them yet.
It's too early to throw in the towel, but it's also too early not to put your hand over the panic button like you may need to do in Philly for the Sixers.
I love hearing that. Any downfall of Philly sports, I'm fucking here for it.
Yeah, so we were talking about this in the group chat earlier, kind of a segue towards the NBA because the NBA needs to be talked about. Philly's in trouble.
They're bad.
They are so bad. The Paul George signing looks atrocious. Joel Embiid seemingly doesn't want to play.
4 games all year long.
And Jared McCann just wants to make TikToks and sing.
He's balling though.
He's
the only bright spot for them. The only one.
I mean, look at
And-
all the money they just gave Maxey, and I mean, McCain's out here playing out of his
Balling.
mind. But what are they? They're 3-13. They're terrible. The last game they lost to the Clippers by 26. They're
And
atrocious.
every game that Embiid has played, they've lost.
They
Every
lost to
single
the
one.
Clippers by 26. The Clippers just lost to the Celtics by what, 30?
32, I think. Yeah.
Hey, Ian, how you doing, buddy?
But going back to Philly, I mean, they're just bad this year. They're number 29 in the league, 3-point shooting percentage. They don't get rebounds. They can barely score, like you said, with the exception of Jared McCain. I mean, he's playing pretty well.
Yeah.
But other than that, they don't. I don't know, man. I'm not a believer in him. Paul George, I thought it was going to be a decent signing. He's not even shooting 30% from three. He's shooting 6 times a game. So I don't. NBA, it's such a long season. I mean, but we're 16 games in. I'm not a math expert. That's what I mean. Essentially, like a fifth of the way through the season.
But a fifth of the way through the season, you're below, like 10, and you're still 10 games below 500.
I was saying,
That's a
in order,
problem.
like, yeah, it's only a fifth of the way through the season, sure. But in order to even get back to 500 through the rest of the season, you got to think about it. They're going to need to win, what, 4 out of every 6 games?
Every 6 games, yeah.
Something
They're
like
not going to, even if they go on a tear, they're not going to be over 500 before Christmas.
No. I mean,
And-
they might go on a 10-game win streak, but
that. I don't think that's happening.
someone look
No.
up Philly's next 10 games really quickly. Let's just
I'm
go
checking
over
that right now. Hang on. Bear with me. Got you covered. One second.
They played Boston yet?
I think they did, or they
They
did.
did it recently, yeah. Let me
Was
see.
it that recent?
I know
Checking
you
it right
watched.
now.
No, I don't think they had. Let me see. I'm going through all their
I
games. I
don't
just
want-
check it out their
Okay,
future.
so they got the
games.
Rockets, and then they got the Pistons. And then Hornets, Magic, Bulls, Hornets, Sixers, Spurs, and then the Celtics. They play the Celtics on Christmas Day.
Oh, that's going to be an annihilation. It's in Boston, right?
It's in Boston.
Yeah, that's going to be an annihilation, guys. Celtics on Thanksgiving, on Christmas Day in the Garden against Philly, they're going to rout them.
40-point win, maybe.
Very well could be. And then you got to think about it. Houston's playing really well this year. The Pistons,
Cleveland's wrecking havoc.
the Pistons aren't great, but they are absolutely improved.
They're
It's not
better
going to
than
be an
they were,
easy
that's for
game
sure.
when you play the Pistons.
No, it's
That's
exactly.
no.
It's not a cakewalk anymore.
But yeah, no. I mean, the Celtics though, they are. I don't know, man. They're
Mr.
good.
Unicorn just
And
came
then-
back.
You said the
And
Magic,
just-
right? The Magic are sitting at 12-7, so they played them twice.
Yep. The Spurs, you can't count them out with Victor Wembanyama and
I
Chris
say with
Chris
Wemby,
Paul.
you don't really want to count out the Spurs. They're above 500. They're sitting at 9-8 right now.
Chicago's
decent.
not a slouch.
Chicago,
Not a slouch. They're 7-11, but they're not a slouch.
that's a game I'm comfortably saying I think they'll win that one. And then the Hornets sitting at 6-11. Not too worried about the Hornets, but
Yeah, they get the Hornets twice over the next 10.
Somebody's gonna
yeah.
have to prove to me they could beat Boston in a 7-game series. I don't think
They
it can
can't.
happen.
Yeah,
Not
they
not as
can't.
of
Give me
right
one
now.
team right now who can do that. Maybe, and right, the only team you can question is maybe Cleveland right now.
Nah.
I
don't
think
they come out east.
Question,
I think
not
it has to
pick.
be in the
Question.
final. And I
It
hate
has
to
to
say it, but it might be the Warriors.
I was kind of thinking the Warriors.
Yeah.
Just because
have
of
a-
the experience and the grit that the Warriors have.
Yeah.
Because you got to think, Steph is going to win them 1 or 2 games on his own.
Yeah.
That's the dangerous thing when you're playing a team, or when you were playing a LeBron-led team in his prime. He was going to win you a game or so by himself.
Right.
Steph is
There's-
still playing out of his mind this year.
Yeah,
I mean,
Steph's
that
playing
hasn't
great, and not that Justin left. There he is. So, and it's not that the Clay getting rid of Clay was a good thing for the Warriors by any means, but Buddy Hield is playing very well for the Warriors. Andrew Wiggins finally looks back to being like Andrew Wiggins. He's locking people up defensively. I like what they're doing out in Golden State.
I think Trace Jackson Davis is. I mean, you watched the game against Boston. Like, I think he's going to be an impact guy. Buddy Hield. They're the only teams, I guess, with the tools right now that I would think taking. I don't think anybody else is fucking with them in a 7 game
And
series.
no, I agree, Ian. And I'm not even being biased when I say this. I would still pick Boston over Golden State in a
Yeah,
seven
me
game
too.
series. But I think it would go 7.
I think
You
it'd be
mean
big.
Chris? Without Kristaps, it would still go 7. With Kristaps, it probably would go 5 or 6.
Oh
Maybe.
man, that's a good point. That's because the game that we saw was without Kristaps Porzingis. That's a valid point because he's going to bring you 20 points a game with 11 boards and 3 blocks.
We saw early in the finals just how big of an impact he made. Just the
Yeah.
second he stepped on the court, you can instantly tell the difference he had in another element. And let's be real. I know I kept saying Mavericks in 7, and I said it all the way till the end.
Can you
It
finally
was
admit I didn't believe that?
what? Wait, what'd you say?
Can you finally admit now that you didn't even believe that yourself?
After the second game, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna keep it rolling. But it just didn't. Now, after they beat him by, what was it, 30 or something to avoid getting swept, I was like, maybe they have a chance. But then, really, as soon as Game 5 started, I was like, it's over. They just, everybody can shoot on Boston. Like, who can't shoot on their team?
Nobody.
They're number 2 in the league with 3-point shooter, but 3-point shooting. But look, I don't think anybody's fucking with them this year.
Boston is also the most versatile team in the NBA too. Because yes, they shoot a lot of threes and they shoot more threes than anybody.
Mm.
But they are hellacious defensively. And Brown and Tatum will go to the cup when it's time to go to the cup.
And Pritchard will give you that spark if neither one of them are having a good day.
Pritchard will get you off the bench. Derek White is going to lead the league in blocks for a guard this year. I guarantee you.
I don't doubt it.
Defensive first team or second team right now, would you say?
Derek White second. I'd say
Pritchard's is a runaway 6th man of the year.
Yes, of course. Right now, absolutely.
Runaway.
And Queta. Holy shit, that was a pickup.
Who saw that coming?
That was a huge pickup. He is athletic. Ian, I believe it was you that said it almost. He's almost like the poor man's Robert Williams.
Mm-hmm. He's the perfect backup you need for Horford and Porzingis.
Well, I was going to say, what type of minutes is he's going to get now with Porzingis back? Do they
probably 16, maybe 15 to 17 minutes a game? I would say maybe.
They're not going to completely
goes out the minutes better between Porzingis and Horford too, because you
Horford,
don't want to rush Porzingis back to an injury,
and you also don't want to put Horford in the ground.
Yeah, exactly. That's actually a very interesting, almost like a quote unquote good problem for the Celtics to have, where they have too many players, and they got to get all of them in rotation.
Yeah, I'd say if you can give Queta about 12 to 15 minutes a game, you're fine.
How would you feel about moving Porzingis to the 4, starting Horford, and then having Queta sub out directly for Horford rather than Porzingis? And then at some points throughout the games, of course, you're going to have Porzingis move to the 5 and have...
I mean, they switch more better than any team in the league.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, to have that kind of versatility, I mean, you could do that. I mean, Boston's best starting 5 is, again, if you're going to have Horford and Porzingis both starting, it doesn't work because you have to take off Tatum, White, or Brown,
Holiday,
which you really can't do, or Holiday.
That doesn't work.
No, it doesn't.
They'll keep Queta in the rotation though. I don't see any way that when Porzingis gets back, no matter how well he plays,
they're going to ease him back anyway.
Porzingis looked great last night.
He looked good. He looked really good. But even then, they'd be fools not to try to ease him back, as opposed to just.
No, of course.
Oh yeah.
Of course. Celtics play again. What, tomorrow, or is?
I believe Friday. It is on Friday. They don't play Thanksgiving.
Their next game is going to be nobody plays Thanksgiving. It's going to be the Friday at Chicago.
That's a group play game for NBA Cup, and if they win, that clinches the group. for them.
I mean, I'm still upset about their first cup game against Atlanta. They had
Yeah.
no business blowing that game.
No, they
At all.
didn't. Yeah, they have the game on Friday against the Bulls, and then on
Ooh.
Sunday they have the Cavs in Cleveland.
Why are they
That'll
playing that
be-
game on a Sunday during football season?
I don't know. Well,
I don't like
What-
that.
what time's the game?
Probably 7,
6 o'clock.
6. Is there any games worth watching? At 4
I'm
o'clock
checking to
window?
see what's if it's even worth it.
Oh fuck, dude, that's gonna be dead in the middle of Eagles Ravens.
Crap. Oh.
Fuck me, dude.
6 p.m. That's like the afternoon slate for. Wait. It's like the
That's-
afternoon
that's-
slate
that's-
for you
that's-
guys.
That's
gonna be
middle.
basically-
That's like third quarter.
Yeah, that's gonna be midway third quarter or about kickoff time of the third quarter of Eagles Ravens, and that's got potential for game of the year.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry versus Saquon, 150 apiece, 2 tutties apiece. Ravens win. Fuck the Eagles.
Why don't we get down to those picks?
Yeah.
That's a good segue. You saw what I did there, Mr. Blackwell.
Not to mention the fact that you guys went with you go backtracking through all those picks, and I'm wrecking your asses on this.
Yeah, and
You are.
the mixed reactions. We're definitely going to. I still have a little bit of editing to do, but we're definitely going to go back and in a few weeks get you the total up to this point. But let's just go through this past week and how we each did. Week 12. Obviously, it was 4 of us: me, Justin, Casey, and Sean. Justin and Sean both went 8-4. Casey went 7-5. I went 6-6. My most we literally all missed on the Commanders. We all missed on the Texans. We all missed on the Steelers. For some fucking reason, I decided to follow Sean and pick the Colts to beat the Lions.
Yeah, that was stupid. Where did me and
um,
Justin differ that he got me? Because he got me by a game.
You and Justin differed on. You had the Cardinals, he had the Seahawks, and then you had the Rams and he had the Eagles. That's where he kind of.
The Rams. Why did I pick the fucking Rams?
Why did I pick the Colts to beat the Lions?
Because you hate Philly. That's why.
That's fair.
But hey, this is a bit nostalgia. Before we get into this week's picks, when I was going through earlier, there was one week that stood out to me, and we all picked. Let me see. Was it no, hold on. I'm getting to. Okay, we all. Where is it? Hold on. Browns. It was like one week that we all picked the Browns to beat. I forgot who it was. Let me
Was
see.
it the Giants?
Oh, I think I think I went. Didn't go far back enough. No, not Browns, Eagles, but not Browns, Commanders.
It was probably
Hold on.
Browns Giants.
Hold on, Browns. Nah, it was because I was like, what the fuck? We all picked the Brown. Anyway, I don't know. Maybe it was another team, but we all picked some shitty ass team to win, and I was like, why? But
Why?
but yeah, man, it's the best week anybody's had. No, Joe. I take that back. Justin went 12-2 in week 6. Casey went 11-3. Of course, I went 9-5. Oh, that's what okay. There was one that we all fucked up on, but for some god awful reason, I chose the Browns to beat the Eagles in week 6. Wish I
That's
could have that one
terrible.
back.
All right, let's get to these picks, boys. And of course, we have 3 games available for y'all on Thanksgiving Day. And the first one is an NFC North showdown between the number 1 overall pick, Caleb Williams, heading into Detroit to play this ferocious, no pun intended, Detroit Lions team. And I'm going with the Lions.
It's a divisional game, so it's going to be hard fought to begin with, but the Lions will run away with this one. Detroit by at least 2 scores.
Wasn't it last year where on Thanksgiving the Packers came out and just demolished Detroit?
Yeah.
They ended up not being too bad though, and I don't think the Bears or the Packers. Give me the from last year. Give me the Lions.
So for our 4 o'clock window on Thanksgiving,
No one wins.
This
No one
is
wins.
normally like the game everyone looks forward to. You know, it's the Macy's parade and it's the Cowboys game. That's what people normally look forward to on Thanksgiving. But
I'm going for seconds. I'm going for seconds. I'm getting seconds for Denver.
Not this year, folks. We have the New York Giants and Tommy Cutlets, heading into play Sean's former high school quarterback, Cooper Rush, and the Dallas Cowboys. And my team, so I'm going last. It's on you two first.
I'm taking the Cowboys because, yeah.
Because they're stupid and are going to win the game even though they shouldn't.
Yep.
Yeah. Who you got,
Bef-
Ian?
Before I give my pick, because I know you said this in the game, we always look forward to Thanksgiving. 2 years ago, wasn't that like the highest rate viewed game, Giants
Yeah,
Cowboys, in like
Giants.
a while, or like damn near ever on Thanksgiving?
Yeah, it was like 2 or 3 years ago.
Oh, and if we remember about, I think it was, what was it, about 10, 12 years ago? It was the butt fumble game
It was. New England scored 3 touchdowns in
in
52 seconds.
52 seconds.
Was that on Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Yes, it
that
was.
the Sunday night game.
Yeah, because Justin sent the video that this would happen immediately after the butt fumble. I didn't, and was it Edelman got a special team touchdown, didn't he?
Yeah.
It was so what happened was we had so Brady threw a tutty to Shane Vereen down the flat. It was like a 50 or 60 yard score. Then butt fumble.
It was a wheel route, not a flat, wasn't it?
You right, it was a wheel route. It was a wheel route. Then butt fumble, scoop and score with Steve Gregory. Kick return, fumble, Edelman just is like, thank you. And
fucking
as if he was running into it, like it was a handoff.
Yeah.
And touchdown.
Anyways, who's your pick, Ian? Giants or Cowboys?
My pick is, like you guys are saying, going to get seconds or taking that walk with your cousins. I don't really know, man. They both
America loses this game.
I got Dallas. I mean, it's either A or I got shout out Lansing Catholic. Shout out Sean, who isn't here tonight. But I got Dallas.
Sorry, I'm having a little bit of camera issues here, folks. Trying to fix it really quickly here.
You're good. I can see you fine.
Yeah, but
he's just kind of jumbling around. That's all good.
All right. I also, unfortunately, am taking the Cowboys in this one. Like I said last week, I want to lose out. That's what I truly wanted, was to lose out.
You need Ashton Jeanty. That's who you need.
We see it keeps falling. I absolutely need Ashton Jeanty or some type of legitimate running back in Dallas. Like, that's absolutely what is needed. I don't know.
How long is Dak? How soon would Dak come back if he returns when he returns from injury? Would he be like week 4?
No, he'd be ready.
Would he be ready for training camp?
Yeah.
Okay.
100%. They said he'd be back for training camp. Technically, say bullshit happens, right? The gods from heaven come down and bless the Cowboys with every miracle possible on earth. He'd be ready for the Super Bowl.
You'd have to have so many things go right for that.
Oh no, it's like a 0.1, like, because nothing's impossible.
0.0001,
Exactly.
and it happening.
Exactly.
Like the same thing, the Patriots to win the AFC East. There's no flipping way.
Yeah, like I said. So God's gift to earth, that happens, right? If they did. They said he'd be ready for that. So yeah, he'll be ready for training camp. But it doesn't matter.
It ain't happening.
This Sunday night game is actually pretty enticing. We have the Miami Dolphins, who really are heading into the frozen tundra to play the Green Bay Packers. Tua said he is anxious to show that Miami is not just a warm weather team. And personally, I think that's malarkey. Give me the Packers.
It's in Green Bay.
Yeah.
And it just snowed here in Maine, where I am.
It's supposed to be 28 degrees. And also, Casey, it's Thursday night, not Sunday night. I wasn't trying to correct, but as you probably saw NBC, or there was late game.
Did I say Sunday?
Yeah, you did.
I was like, Thursday. Everyone calm down.
No, you're good. My bad.
It's the evening game of the slate.
Yeah.
On Miami, NBC, to be fair.
Miami's going to get wrecked. They do not play well in cold at all. Yeah. They look like molasses running uphill in winter. Quite literally.
Now, Tyreek Hill will be fine. He played in Kansas City.
I'm not worried about Tyreek Hill, but Tua doesn't move well in the cold. He never has.
No, and Miami, I think, has the 25th ranked rush defense in the league. I think Josh Jacobs is going to eat them alive, especially in the cold. They're not going to want to tackle. I think Josh Jacobs.
How is Green Bay's rush defense? Because that's what's going to have to keep them in the game.
Better than Miami's.
I can check.
Yeah.
Let me see. But yeah, no, I mean, Green Bay is looking like an absolute machine right now. It's -3.5 Green Bay at home. So, I mean, I don't know. It's very hard for me to pick against the Packers, man, with the way they've been. I mean, they're looking like a team on a mission. I mean, at this point, they're 8-3.
They
And it's gonna be
might
about 20.
steal that 5th wild card spot from Minnesota and make
yeah.
Minnesota go have to play Atlanta.
So their rushing defense, we were asking about Green Bay, right? They
Mhm.
are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12th as far as rushing yards allowed per game. Scoring defense, the
Green Bay.
Packers are about like 10th, not allowing
Green
20
Bay.
points a game.
I got
Green
Green
Bay,
Bay.
easy.
I got Green Bay.
So we have a Friday game, fellas. Black Friday. And unironically, the team that they're playing wears black uniforms. And that team, my friends, is Ian's Las Vegas Raiders. And they are heading into Arrowhead to play the Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Isaiah Pacheco's expected back, by the way.
Oh. That's a shellacking.
I don't think it is. The Chiefs don't blow anybody out. They barely.
No, they.
Carolina. I got Chiefs by 7.
Yeah. I've got the Chiefs, but
Look,
who was it that said it this weekend? I think it was Rex Ryan. The Chiefs are not as good as their record shows.
I disagree, and here's the reason why. People have said the same thing about them the past 2 years, and then in the playoffs, it's like magic clicks. Something clicks in their offense. Their defense gets more ferocious. They get more turnovers. I agree. They need
to get some more solid wins. Unless if they don't get some more solid, consistent, like at least 1-2 score wins. Not necessarily blowouts, and then Mahomes is calling for, but unless they can string together some 1-2 score, at least couple 2-score wins, they're going to look vulnerable.
Sure. No, I agree. They may look vulnerable.
Hey.
And here is Sean motherfucking Gardner.
You guys sound so quiet right now.
You are just in time, my friend. We've already made a few picks. We're going to include you in on these now. Are you ready? Just on the fly.
Yeah, 1 second. As soon as I get my sound fixed here. Keep talking.
Yo.
Okay, so we've only gotten through the Thanksgiving picks as well as Black Friday. So
Thanksgiving picks and what?
Black Friday.
Black Friday game.
Okay. So that's what the Lions, Chiefs, and Cowboys, and whoever the hell those teams are playing.
Yep.
So first Thanksgiving Day game, Sean, it's the Chicago Bears heading into Detroit to play the Lions. All of us are in concession here. We got the Lions. What about you?
That's an easy one. I learned my lesson after picking the Colts, which I thought was a good pick last week. But yeah, I'm gonna go definitely with the Lions on Thanksgiving. Although, when's the last time the Lions won on Thanksgiving? That's the only thing that scares me.
That's fair.
Good point.
When they beat Buffalo back in 2021, I believe.
2021.
Been a little bit though.
It's been a little bit.
Before that, it was more than a lot. There was a long time before that.
Absolutely. So the next game, and I'm going to say the same thing I said before when I was talking about this. This is normally the game and the team that everyone's excited for on Thanksgiving. You know, you got the Macy's Day Parade and you got the Cowboys game. That's what people normally look forward to. And now, as Justin said, it's the game where I'm going to go get seconds on my pick. But we had the New York Giants and Tommy DeVito heading in to play your former high school quarterback, Cooper Rush, and the Dallas Cowboys. And I'm going to go. Yeah. We're all in concession for the Cowboys on that one, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, the thing that's interesting about that is I did see a report that said Cooper didn't practice today. So that's the only thing that kind of makes me nervous. He hasn't practiced. But assuming Cooper plays, I think the Cowboys do win in a close one. And
yeah, I think it's going to be a close one, too. With Trey Lance starting, that may change the whole trajectory because, you know, obviously he adds that mobility factor, but he also adds the turnover-prone factor. So that could go either way if Trey Lance is in there.
Yep. I'm excited to see Coop play on Thanksgiving, though. That's cool just from my point of view. It's really cool to see.
And then, of course, here we have the Thursday night game, not making that mistake again, between the Miami Dolphins heading into the frozen tundra to play the Green Bay Packers. I believe we all had the Packers in this one.
Yeah, we did.
You got the Dolphins going into Green Bay.
It's 20 degrees out.
I didn't even realize that game was happening. 23 degrees, a Miami team. I think the Dolphins win.
Damn, Sean.
I think the Dolphins win.
Before-
Yeah,
bef-
with Tua back and they just look like when the Dolphins are good, they're good with Tua back.
Yeah. No, they
Yeah,
do
that's-
look better with Tua, no question about
Yeah.
it. Outside of that, do you have any like determining factors as to why you think Miami, or is just because of so far how they've looked with Tua?
Just how they look with Tua. I think with Tua, they're actually a good football team, a good competitive football team that can do some things that they sneak into the playoffs.
No, that's fair. Not hating
Before
on
we
that
get-
whatsoever.
Before we get to the Black Friday game, I just want to shout out. Sean, I know you probably didn't watch the whole Cowboys game. They shouted out Lansing Catholic. They're like, he goes from Lansing Catholic to wherever the fuck he played college.
Did they really?
Yeah.
That's pretty
I'm like,
dope.
oh yeah.
That's sick. I didn't even
Yeah.
see that.
Was
That was
I'm
the
not
last
mistaken
game?
on that, right? He was your former high school quarterback, wasn't he?
Former high school quarterback, former high school teammate. I played on the same team with him my
Yep.
senior year.
You caught a pass from him, didn't you?
Not in game, but in practice all the time. Yeah.
Was he a cool dude?
Oh yeah, it couldn't have happened to a nicer person, dude. I'm so happy for him.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
good to know. Okay.
Yeah.
So for that Black Friday game, we have the Ians, Las Vegas Raiders, heading into Arrowhead to play the Chiefs. Isaiah Pacheco is expected back for Kansas City in this game. I'm rolling with Kansas City in this one.
Yeah, I think that's an easy one. I think Kansas City wins, unfortunately. It'll be close though because all their games are close.
Yeah, they are. Absolutely. That's what I've been saying.
Yep.
Sean, also, before I wish you were here earlier, I gave your boy Bo Nix a huge shout out. I said I think he's overtaken Jaden Daniels for Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, I agree, man. I definitely 100% agree. It's a long season though. There's so much that could happen these last few weeks, but yeah, it's crazy. Progressively, Bo has looked better every single Sunday.
No, and it's like what Justin was saying with his situation with Drake May. Because I think Drake May, New England hit a home run with him. I think he solidified. Same thing with Denver. I think you guys finally found your quarterback since Peyton left. And I think that's so huge for you, especially with Sean Payton. He is such a great quarterback developer. I think this is huge. Denver's only going to go up. Now, of
Absolutely.
course, it's a really tough division with the Chargers and the Chiefs. So I'm not saying division titles are going to be rolling in for Denver, but I really feel they got some really strong seasons ahead of them.
They're gonna be solid. That's the way I
Yeah,
see it.
they're gonna be
a
competitive,
good,
and that's all
a
we've
good
wanted.
team.
Just be competitive, a competitive football team.
Absolutely. I think we all had the Chiefs in that one. So for the 1:00 slates on Sunday, we have a struggling Houston team who's looking like a shell of them former selves, heading into Jacksonville, who also looks like a shell of themselves in this AFC South showdown. And I know they've looked bad over the last few weeks. They're just coming off a horrendous loss to Tennessee. But give me the give me the Texans.
Mac Jones is still playing quarterback for them, I think, for the Jaguars. I don't think Trevor's back, correct?
Yeah, they shouldn't even rest Trevor for the rest of the season. Their season's over. Let Trevor rest until next year.
Yeah. Yeah, give me Houston.
Yeah, easily.
I got Jacksonville. I think it's a shocker. It's gonna be in Jacksonville. I think they're gonna win. Like you guys were saying earlier, CJ Stroud's not having a good season.
He's not. He
And-
just had a sophomore slump bad.
Maybe
games.
this pick right here is gonna be representative of why I've had, like, except for a few weeks, atrocious records in these big segments. But nah, I think
Yeah.
they get it done.
Every week, and you pick two, and you just go against the grain. I don't know why you do that.
And it's
Ian's
usually
pick is sponsored by Hawk Tua.
I mean,
Just
Sean
like
is the
right
one
now,
that
Hawk
convinced
to
me
a
to pick the
2024.
goddamn. Sean convinced me to pick the goddamn Colts against the fucking Lions.
And I still don't feel bad about it because I still see a world where that could have happened. It just didn't.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's not like we
Lions,
picked
they're so well coached. They're so well rounded of a football team. They
Yeah.
are so tough to beat.
I hope
And
it's them versus the Eagles in the NFC Championship.
it's going to be. There's no question it's going to be.
That'll be a
They're
good game.
clear cut the two best teams in the NFC.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Colts, Sean, they are up next on the slate, and they're heading into Gillette to play the Patriots. Now, Patriots are coming off, well, Drake May, I should say, is coming off his worst performance of the year. I think he'll bounce back from that. I just don't think he'll be enough because I don't think the Patriots are talented enough. Again, guys,
Yeah.
here's my cat. She likes to run across the screen.
What up, cat?
Give me the Colts.
Yeah, that's gonna be a really tough one. It's gonna be a close game. You never know what you're gonna get with the Colts. You never know what you're gonna get with the Patriots. But I think the Colts just have a little bit better of a personnel where I feel a little bit more comfortable picking them in a close one, low scoring.
Same. That's my thoughts too. Something like 2017, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Ian, you're up.
Wait, who did Justin have?
It's
I'm
the Patriots.
last.
Oh shit, my bad.
I'm last.
Uh, like Sean's made a perfect point. Like you don't know what you're really gonna expect with either team. Colts, I mean, they look bad against the Lions. They didn't look good against the Bills a couple weeks ago. They beat the Jets, but I mean, it's. I got the Patriots actually.
Patriots.
Interesting.
I can see it.
The one thing I would say is that with the Patriots getting Christian Barmore back, it's been they're easing him back. He's not back. So
Right.
it is shoring up their run defense, though, even though Adrian and Mostert carved him out this week. It's gonna be close. I'm gonna take Indy in a close one, though. You know what? No, I take it back. I'm gonna take New England because I think Drake is gonna will himself to a comeback game.
Okay. I can see it. I really can. I think this is going to be a close game. This is one of those games that toss it. It's a coin toss. It can go either way. And Anthony Richardson, how's he going to perform outside in the cold? We don't know. He could have his worst game of the year for all we know.
That's a good.
Yeah.
I am a believer in Drake May, like especially after watching him against the Rams. I know they play Miami this weekend. Like I don't know if Justin said it's the worst game he's had as I don't want to misquote you, but
It was his worst performance as a starter in
No
as a pro.
question. Yeah, no question it was.
I mean, but my big thing is, Indianapolis bottom third of the league as far as passing defense. I think Drake May. I mean, it's in New England. It's gonna be in the
offense
cold.
to that stat, Ian, but that doesn't.
New England doesn't have anyone to throw to unless it's Austin Hooper or Hunter Henry.
As I say, that's a great stat if they're playing the Bengals or if they're playing
the Chiefs or the Lions.
Or the Lions against a team like New England with no real outside threat. Sure, their pass defense isn't great, but it's gonna look much improved this week. I guarantee you that.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair point. I think they eke out a win.
Yeah, it's an eke out win kind of thing for sure.
This is a game that I think we're probably going to differ on a little bit here. I can't 100% say for sure. This game could absolutely go either way. We have the Los Angeles Chargers heading into Atlanta to play the Falcons. Now, obviously, the Chargers coming off that loss last night to the Ravens, but they didn't look bad. The Chargers did good all season long.
Consistent.
Harbaugh was aggressive John Harbaugh was aggressive.
He was. Let's start with Sean on this one. Who do you got?
Yeah, give me the Falcons. I think they come back after a brutal beatdown by my Broncos. The fact that this game is in Atlanta is really influencing me. I think they're evenly matched teams. It's going to be close, but I think Atlanta pulls it out just because they got that home field advantage.
Okay.
I'm going to take the Falcons as well in a close one. I think it's going to be a 7-point game either which direction. I'll take Atlanta.
So this is where I'm going to differ off a tad bit on this one. I think the Chargers bounce back. They have a very consistent run game. What scares me as far as what the Chargers is their lack of outside threats. Quentin Johnson probably had the worst game in the history of wide receivers last night. He had 5 targets, 3 drops, no catches. You can't get much worse than that. But I really like what I've been seeing from the Chargers all year. And Atlanta, to me, obviously is the clear-cut best team in the NFC South, I feel, at this point. But they're so up and down. And like Sean said, they got beat down by the Broncos. And the Chargers are a physical football team. I think Khalil Mack may be coming back on that edge with Joey Bosa. I've got a good feeling the Chargers, I don't want to say win this one handily, but they win it convincingly.
I'm gonna take the Chargers, but I don't think convincingly. Let me see, what is J.K. Dobbins' status gonna be? He did get hurt last night, but I mean Herbert's a beast this year, man. I'm not stepping in front of the goddamn. Atlanta's good, and it's in Atlanta, isn't it?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
It's in Atlanta.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that almost swayed me to pick Atlanta, but
I got the Chargers.
Shit. It's also a West Coast team traveling to the East to play a 1:00 game. Those never seem to go well for those teams.
That's a very good point, especially in an indoor environment. A team that's, if they win this game in Tampa, they might win the division this year, so it's going to be loud and rocking. I still got the Chargers. I think it's going to be another one of those.
Yeah,
wins.
I'm sticking with the Chargers as well, but it's a tough call
for sure.
Now we have another West Coast team heading into an East Coast environment to play a 1:00 game. We have the Seattle Seahawks heading into MetLife Stadium to play Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets.
Jets coming off a bye too, if I recall correctly.
They are.
Mhm.
Oh man,
Jets are
what
kind of playing for their season really right now.
no, their season's over.
Their season's
It's
over. They're
over,
playing
but
for pride
they're-
at this
They're playing
point.
for pride.
Aaron
yeah.
Rodgers is playing for a chance of the job next year.
They're 3-8 right now.
Oh, man.
I got the Jets.
Every logical fiber in my being is saying Seattle's going to win this game.
Right.
Me too.
There's a little voice in the back of my head, and it's been like it with all year long with this Jets team.
His name is
it's
Aaron Rodgers.
It's Aaron Rodgers because they're talented.
That's the
Devontae
exact
Adams,
reason I picked
Garrett
him.
Wilson, Brees Hall, like they have talent on that team.
Mhm.
Fuck, man. Actually, you know what? I'm taking the Seahawks. I think Geno Smith goes back to the team that drafted him in the Jets and fucks them up. I
Yeah.
think he puts a stamp on his comeback career.
Seattle by 10.
Give me Seattle.
Yeah, give me Seattle. I just think they're the better football team.
Well, I am alone on the Jets.
This is why you had the worst
And
record
this
of
is-
all our picks.
This
here.
is why Ian goes 2-12.
But it's I was the same thing with Casey was saying. Like every lot because if the
Tough
Jets
pick.
come out and get their ass beat by 30, I'm gonna be like, I'm a fucking more. But it's so hard. It's like if LeBron James was on an absolutely terrible team. You
Mhm.
have LeBron James.
But Aaron Rodgers isn't Aaron Rodgers anymore, it doesn't look
Yeah.
like.
Not.
And he
He's
could
not.
come back next year and look like Aaron Rodgers again.
Some,
I'm
yeah,
not
and sometimes he
saying-
looks like Aaron Rodgers, though. Sometimes he
But-
does.
Rarely this, not
Rarely.
Needs to lay off the ayahuasca.
Now, we have two teams in this next slate here that, from opposite ends of the spectrum, are coming off their most surprising game of the year. We have the Tennessee Titans, who are coming off a great win against Houston, heading into Washington to play the Commanders, who just had their worst loss of the season by losing to my lonely Cowboys. I don't think they're going to do that twice in a season, especially 2 times in a row at home. Give me the Commanders in this one.
Right,
Yeah,
I
that's for
agree.
sure.
Yep, I can't see them doing that back to back. That was a weird game. That was one of the weirdest football games of all time.
Cooper played great.
Jaden
Yeah.
Daniels got to throw four,
He had
Yeah.
4 touchdowns.
117 passer rating, Sean. It was beautiful.
Yeah. Nope, I saw some of the passes he threw. It was it's a good sight. Good to see.
Let me ask you
Jaden
this,
Daniels
kind of
plus
matter of fact,
275
could you
yards and
see-
4 touchdowns.
I want to just veer to Sean for a quick second here, and I know we're going off topic. I apologize. I just need to know.
Yeah.
Could you see NFL potential in Cooper in high school?
It was tough to tell, and I mean, I think it's always tough to tell that early, but I could definitely see Division I college potential. I mean, when I was a senior, he was a sophomore, and he was the starting quarterback on varsity. So, I mean, to start that early in
Yeah.
your young high school career as a sophomore on a varsity football team, I mean, that says a lot. So
That's
you
impressive.
could definitely
Absolutely.
tell he
Yeah,
was
yeah.
D1 talented.
Perfect. Yeah. Sorry to veer off like that, guys. I'm just
No, you're good.
Yeah, I think we're all on the Commanders in this one, right?
Yeah, well, the Commanders, because at this point, man, like if they lose, like at this point, they're gonna be fighting for a wild card spot.
Yeah.
Tooth
Yeah,
and
they're not winning the division. The division's gone for the Commanders. That's going to the Eagles.
Yeah.
yeah. Not
So
going to
next
Dallas.
This is a huge AFC North showdown because this team really is fighting for their playoff lives. Still, I don't know how, but they still are. We have the Pittsburgh Steelers heading into Cincinnati to play the Bengals. Now, the Steelers pretty much all sure to playoff spot. Cincinnati, as bad as they've been for most of the season, I don't know why. I still have faith in them. And I think the Bengals win this game, guys.
I could see that. Man, yeah, this is
Problem is
Tough one.
Pittsburgh can't score touchdowns. That's the problem.
I'm gonna go with Pittsburgh though. Let's
But
ride.
I'm
Let's
going to go with Pittsburgh
Russ.
too. I think Russell Wilson finally gets going.
Steelers Nation. Let's ride.
Nah, you're going
No.
with the Steelers so you don't sleep on the couch, Justin.
I know. Sean, in case you didn't know, my wife is a diehard Steelers fan. She's from Pennsylvania, so
Oh God.
go with
you
the
got
wife
the safe
principle.
pick there.
with the white principal.
There
No,
you
I
go.
get it. My wife's a Chiefs fan, so I have to go with the Chiefs every week too. So
No, you just are you just love Patrick Mahomes.
You would go with the Chiefs anyway.
So I have Bengals. Sean, I think you said Steelers,
Hmm.
and Justin says Steelers. I don't know what Ian said.
Dude, I mean, Pittsburgh off it. And yeah, I know technically they're not. They're mathematically they're still fighting for their playoffs lives, but I mean they're pretty still far behind the eight ball. Or pretty close to they whatever. Uh, fuck man, I don't think Pittsburgh hasn't let down 2 weeks in a row. Give me the Steelers.
Steelers. No, that's fair. It's an AFC North showdown. Like these division rival games are always tough for everybody.
It's like the Pittsburgh Ravens game. That was gonna be a slugfest. If we ever went near that.
Yeah, that was what is it with Baltimore not being able to beat Pittsburgh? I don't understand. It's Pittsburgh,
Mike Tomlin.
Kansas City, and Buffalo.
It's Mike
Baltimore
Tomlin.
can't
It's all
beat them, and I don't
matchups.
know why.
It's
coaching.
all matchup. That's
It's
why
coaching.
Denver. Yeah, that's why Denver doesn't match up well against Miami like last year, and they don't match up well against the Ravens this year. They just can't defend fast quarterbacks like that. And that's just an example, but it's just all matchups. Sometimes you just gotta
Man.
throw out the records and look at the matchups, how teams match up.
No, Sean, that's a really
Mhm.
great point, but that sucks in a sense because that's not going to fare well if you have to go to Baltimore in the wild card round.
Yeah, no, yeah, I agree.
But you said you're going.
100%.
Didn't you say you're gonna? No matter where you guys are playing for the wild card game, you're gonna be there.
I'm thinking about it.
No,
You
I
should.
feel you. That's gonna
No,
be a
that-
hell of
Well,
a.
You know, I
hell of a
don't
trip.
want to be one of those moral victory type of guys, but like, even say you go to a wild card round, you get
I'd
blown
be
up
happy.
by
I'd
20,
be happy.
25
I already know
points.
what you're gonna ask.
You were there.
No, it's not even about being happy about being there. It's just being happy about the outcome of the season as a whole. Nobody
Yeah.
expected this from Denver this year.
Yeah, they haven't made the playoffs since they won the Super Bowl. So
Right.
think
Has
about
it been that
That's-
long?
Yeah, 2016, January
Yeah.
2016 is when they won.
They haven't played in the playoffs in
What,
17
I mean,
years.
look at the. I don't want to use the word bum, but look at the frail quarterbacks that have come through since then. Trevor Simeon,
Yeah.
Drew Lock.
Paxton Lynch,
Brock
if I'm not mistaken,
Osweiler.
Brock Osweiler, Russell
Teddy
Wilson,
Bridgewater.
Teddy Bridgewater, man, I had high
He was
hopes
one
for
of the
him when he
better
went to
ones.
Denver
He was one of the
Here's
better
the
ones.
question: Why are the Giants starting Tommy DeVito over Drew Lock?
because they want to tank because they're smart. They're not like Dallas. I don't
Yeah.
understand why Dallas is winning games.
Drew
right
Lock might play Thursday though. Again, they checked
now.
the
I
injury.
hope he does because then the Giants will probably win. I don't want to win another game this year. I want a top 5 pick. So for the next slate of games, we have the Arizona Cardinals heading into Minnesota to play the Vikings. Now, this is a tough one. Both teams are going to be jockeying for a wild card position in this one because
Yeah.
obviously, Minnesota's not winning the North. That's going to Detroit. But Arizona still has a
Is it?
great shot to win the West.
I'm not. I mean, I know the Lions have been destroying people, but that's a close division, my guy.
It is, but it's
Mhm.
no, for some reason I know it's close, but it seems like Detroit has a.
I know.
Doesn't
I
Detroit
know.
have the head-to-head on Minnesota anyway?
Yeah,
They still gotta play in there.
They do.
They still gotta play again.
I think they played one less game though, if I'm not mistaken, than the Vikings have, because of the bye Detroit has. I think Detroit's 9-1, Minnesota's 9. Or wait, ignore me. Wait, hold on. What the fuck? Let me see. That's a good. Oh, they're 10-1. Sorry, they're 10-1.
They say Detroit's 10-1, Minnesota's 8-3, right? That's 11 games apiece.
Yeah.
Minnesota's 9-2.
9-2. 11
Sorry, I
games.
didn't mean to derail from the subject, but
No, it's a.
I mean, no,
valid
that was
point.
on topic. Yeah, no, that was. Got it. No, yeah, I get you.
You know what I mean though, like because I know it's a one division lead, but it feels way bigger
it does.
just because of how Detroit's been playing.
Mhm.
Yeah, it does. It's hard to believe like the Eagles could get the number 1 seed. The Lions could still lose the NFC North and like drop down in the playoff seedings. Like it's the NFL is just so crazy like
It
that.
doesn't. Yeah, that's just ridiculous. Anyways, in this game, I think I'm gonna roll with the Vikings, even though I'm not a full believer in them yet, and it's because of Sam Darnold. I think that they're gonna get bounced in the first round, probably still. I don't believe in their quarterback, so I think they'll win this game. Yeah, just give me the Vikings in this one. Really, not much more to say on that.
Yeah, same. It's kind of like that Falcons game. I like the fact that they're at home, 2 evenly matched teams fighting for a playoff spot. I think it'll be close. I'm kind of with you, Casey. I don't know if I trust the Vikings yet, but I feel like they're going to win this game at least.
I mean, the Cardinals are also they're fighting for the division too. They're not
They
out
are.
of the division race
True.
for the
That's
NFC
a good
West.
point.
That's wide open.
Yeah.
And they really can't afford to lose anything on Seattle. I'm gonna take Minnesota. I've been riding Minnesota for most of the season. But Darnold has looked to be a liability again.
Yeah. No, he has his moments where he looks good, but he's not consistent enough to win you what's going to have to be what it's shaping up to be 3 road playoff games. So,
Got Arizona.
yep.
Not a bad
Ian's-
pick, but this is a
Ian's
solid
rule of
pick.
thumb is never bet against Toddler Murray.
Yeah.
You see how little his fucking hands are, bro? Shit's
Yes, I know
crazy.
how. Yes. So for the first game of the 4:00 window, we have Ian's true team, the Los Angeles Rams, heading into Nolens to play the Saints, who have looked pretty decent the past couple of weeks. I'm going to go with the Rams here because they truly are fighting for their playoff lives. The Saints season's over. I think the Rams are going to want to bounce back from that horrendous performance against the fucking Philadelphia Eagles. I think the Rams win this one in a tight one.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Rams win. Close game though.
Yep.
But yeah, I think the Rams do pull it off and win in a close one.
Same. Rams in a close one.
Is the Saints season really over though?
Ever since
I
they
mean-
lost 7 in a row after losing just before they fired Dennis Allen, yeah, it's over.
I don't know. I mean, at this point, because let me see. I know they beat Atlanta earlier this year.
They pretty much have to win out, Ian.
They have to win out and hope Atlanta loses out for the most part.
I mean, we still got was it? They both played 11 games. So we got 6. Oh shit, we're closer to the end of the season. Why am I adding like 1 or 2 more games on in my head? Regardless of all that, Rams are gonna beat the dog shit out of them. I think that there hasn't really been a point this season that I've been too concerned. I think Justin's team's had a pretty good season. You know, it's been a season of development. You guys had a few shitty games. Casey's hit their fucking train wreck. Sean's team is,
Overachieving
Good
from
progress.
what we expected.
the way that I feel about the Rams though, I haven't really we've just kind of been what I've expected, and I think that we're gonna go in there. I think we're gonna beat the piss out of New Orleans.
No, see, Ian, you've been pretty consistent on the Rams all year that they're a middle of the road, possible wild card type team, which is what they've shown throughout this whole season.
And then, like I said earlier, Puka's really starting. And Cooper, to me, still doesn't look 100%. But I mean,
No, he
Puka's
doesn't.
playing out of his mind. We're actually spreading the ball around now. We're getting Demarcus Robinson some looks. Jared Verse is. I mean, that dude's gonna be a problem.
Hot take, I think this is Cooper Kupp's last season in LA.
Probably.
I'll say
There's
that.
already been rumors of him being traded already.
Who would pick him up? Please,
Dallas.
please, New England, please, New England, please, New England, please, New England.
I could see New England. I could.
That would be a
I could see New
perfect-
England.
for the
I've
type
heard
of player
Dallas
Cooper.
too. To go outside of
Mm.
CD.
I think he'd be great for Drake May. I mean, Cooper Kupp can do whatever you need. I think he'd be a perfect number.
Well, I don't know
He
if-
could still be a good number 1. He's still a number 1
Yeah,
receiver.
no, he could. I don't know if he's healthy enough, consistently to be a true number 1 anymore, but he still has those flashes. So I could see him with New England. But like I said, I've heard rumors of Dallas too, and I think he'd make a great number 2 for CD.
You trade for Cooper Kupp and you draft Travis Hunter. Thank you very much. We're good to go.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, you'd argue that I'm not saying you'd be better than Buffalo by any means, but you'd have.
No, we're back in the playoff contention.
Yeah, absolutely. So for the next game, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers heading into Carolina, who, despite the loss, I want to say are coming off their best game of the year by
Bryson looked
losing to the
good.
Chiefs by a field goal.
Bryson
Yeah.
looked good.
It's the Panthers, the Chiefs, man. I'm not falling for that. The Chiefs just play close games. The Panthers are still a trash football team, and they're going to get obliterated. I think Baker Mayfield might even throw 4 touchdowns this game.
Yeah, I got the Bucs big in this one too. I agree with you 100%, Sean. I don't know why. Chiefs always play their best word. They play to their competition
They
every
play
week.
down to the competition.
Every single game. They remind me
Absolutely.
of the Broncos, the 2015 Broncos, the Super Bowl team.
Yeah.
Speaking of
Which
your
is-
Broncos, did you know that John Elway is the winningest quarterback against the Patriots? 10-0. Never
I never
lost.
knew
a
he
game.
went 10-0. That's wild. But
Never lost
the
a game.
Patriots were trash back then, weren't they?
They were for the most part in his era.
Yeah,
Correct.
that's what I figured. So,
Um,
that makes sense.
but yeah, Bucks big time.
Yeah, Bucks big time in that one.
I
Even
got
against
Tampa.
Ian, are
as
you going
well.
against the grain and taking the Panthers?
I'm not crazy.
Bucks got Mike Evans back too. I didn't realize he was back last weekend.
So for this next game, though, guys, I think this has potential game of the year, and it's by far the two best running backs throughout the course of this season. We have the Philadelphia Eagles heading into Baltimore to play the Ravens.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, and the Celtics and Cavaliers are right in the middle of the third quarter.
I know. Yeah, I'm gonna have to have one game on the iPad for this one because I'm not missing either one of those.
Give me the Ravens at home. Baltimore's -3 at home. Give me the Ravens.
See, I was waiting for someone else to pick because I was also thinking the Ravens, but I also didn't want to just think of picking the Ravens because of my hatred for the Eagles. I think you're right, Justin. Give me the Ravens in this one.
Give me the Philadelphia Eagles in a very close football game.
It'll be a slugfest for sure.
Like I said, I think this has game of the year written all over it.
Easily.
So Justin and Casey both have Baltimore. Me and
and
Sean both have Philly. I have Philly.
Yeah. It
could
for
be
my
Super Bowl
research,
preview depending how it plays out.
I
This
just
is
don't trust
absolutely
the
a Super Bowl
Ravens
preview. It
passing
could be.
defense. I think that's their kryptonite, and I think
Yeah.
the Ravens are gonna. I think Jalen Hurts is gonna throw all over them. That's what's gonna happen. In my
No,
opinion.
that's fair. That's fair. Next game.
Now we're on Sunday night. Now we're Sunday night.
Now we're on Sunday night, truly. And
Waiting all day for Sunday night.
if we were predicting how games would go at the beginning of the year, if we saw this one, we'd be like, oh, that is a heavyweight showdown. We have the San Francisco 49ers heading into Buffalo to play the Bills.
Bills
Now,
win big.
Bills are going to wreck it
Big.
now, I think. But
Is Brandon Allen starting?
Yep.
I
Or
believe
David
the
Jones if
Bills
they don't pick him up.
Yeah, I got the Bills.
It's gonna be 32 degrees at Highmark Stadium. Bills are. Let me see. It's gonna be 16 mile per hour winds. Gonna feel like 29 mile per hour wind gusts, 44 degrees. I think the Bills are gonna. This is still absolute desperation time for San Francisco, but I don't think it's gonna matter. I think the Bills. I think they're gonna get rolled. So we all got Buffalo.
Yeah, we all got
Injuries have destroyed San Francisco this year. Annihilated that football
Dude,
team.
I know all about injuries decimating a team. Like,
I fucking called
same
it.
thing for my Cowboys this year, man.
He called it the San Francisco this year.
Hey, Justin, it's the two teams you said we're gonna fall off. You were right about one of them.
Yeah.
Monday
How do you get one of them right?
Monday night game.
Oh, my bad.
You know, Sean's gonna be excited for this one, but this is one of the games that, as a football fan, that you wish for in July just because you miss football. But now that we're in December, it's a game that you have on in the background. No offense, Sean. And it's only because you guys are going to steamroll them. It's the Cleveland Browns heading into Denver. Denver in a blowout win, I think. Blowout.
Winston looked decent against Pittsburgh, but
he did.
Yeah,
you're right. Jameis looked pretty good.
he's got some bars too.
I like Jameis, but I think they're gonna get smashed. I got Denver.
Denver. Smash.
I think Denver's gonna win. I don't think they're gonna blow them out. It's kind of like the same thing I said with Las Vegas. Denver rarely blows out teams. It's really weird, but I do think they will eventually win. They'll probably win by like 10, maybe 13 points. I don't consider that a blowout. When you guys
think of like a close game, then Denver pulls away in the second half.
Yeah. Actually, kind of similar to the Vegas game. I just think
pull away in the fourth quarter. I think more. I would say for me.
I think the main reason is I think the Denver defense is better than the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. They're going to blitz the shit out of. I think Vance Joseph is going to draw up some packages and really get the Jameis.
That's a statement right there, Sean.
What, Denver better than the Steelers defense?
That's a statement right there.
What are the rankings?
Your Skype picture is the same as my Xbox Live picture. In a football helmet. I just want
A
to throw that
generic
Yeah.
ass football helmet.
You kind of got me curious though. I want to see these defensive rankings. I want to see.
Well, I'm just going on passing defense right now. Denver is about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like eighth in passing yards allowed per game. I
Pittsburgh.
don't know. Because we got to remember too. Before, I mean, and like don't get me wrong. One of you guys said Jameis playing good. Before Cleveland, I mean, he was kind of the running joke of always throwing interceptions.
He was.
Like I
But
think
he
he's
threw
on
he
that
threw for
now.
1,000,000 yards and 100,000 touchdowns, but threw picks for every touchdown he threw, or 2 picks for every touchdown he threw.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Sean, to play devil's advocate to your point,
Mhm.
I'm not saying that you're wrong with Denver having a better defense than Pittsburgh, but they don't have a defensive player like TJ Watt like Pittsburgh does either.
Yeah, but the Steelers also don't have Pat Surtain. You know, pick your position. I hear you.
Fair. Solid point. No, that's fair. I like Minkah Fitzpatrick, but you're right. He's not Patrick Surtain.
I also like Joey Porter Jr.
Yeah, he's good. He's good too. Yeah.
Mhm.
The crazy thing about the Denver defense is I'm really excited about them because they're so young. Like, don't forget about Nick Benito.
Do you think this is the beginning possibly of the no-fly zone part 2?
Very well could be the case.
I like what I'm seeing out of Denver. Like I said, they're
Yeah.
almost
He's
like
Maybe
a
Nick
good.
Benito
He's
is
good.
currently
Like a-
tied for
they're
third in
definitely an
sacks.
dark horse.
Nick Benito is. Do you even know who that is? I know you don't watch too much Bronco football.
I know the name.
Yeah.
Names familiar, but I don't know.
So it's just crazy to think you got like a top 3 sack leader right now. Barely anybody knows who he is because it's just so young.
Now, with that being said, what you were saying about Jameis, this very well could be the game he comes back down to earth, guys.
Mhm.
Especially in a game like this, all the lights on him, Monday Night Football, coming off that big win. People are, quote unquote, riding that Jameis bus. This
Yeah.
might be the game he gets a little full of himself and starts throwing to the other team.
That's too bad though. I like Jameis though. I'm
I
glad.
do too.
You know,
Yeah.
if it wasn't against the Broncos, I'd be rooting for him. But
Great
It's
story.
I love those interviews, man.
Yes.
Yeah, they're great.
God has blessed me with the ability to come play in this snow.
He doesn't even answer the question.
Did you guys see the video of him where he's trying to get Pittsburgh to jump off sides? He's doing a hard snap down.
Oh, I saw.
I saw
Somebody
that.
jump off sides! Damn!
I saw that. You see when he was interviewing the fish that was flopping around everywhere?
Yeah.
Man. Now, before we get to the question, which I have tonight, and I'm excited to do this one with you boys, just, if you don't mind, I want to dive. What we normally do is a little bit touch on some college hockey. Obviously, Sean, Michigan State #1 in the nation.
Really?
Yeah,
Hats
crazy.
off to MSU hockey. Maine sits at 5, coming off a big win at their rival, the University of New Hampshire. Sean, I know you're not a diehard fan of Michigan State hockey. I know you're not, up to date with every game that they have. But just as an alumni of MSU and as a casual fan of MSU hockey, must feel good sitting at #1 right now.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it does feel good. It's been a while. I forget exactly when the last time they've been #1, but it has been a long time.
2007. And it's crazy because I was looking for that shit Sunday and I could
That's
not
when
find it.
they beat BC in the national title game in 07.
Mhm.
That,
Yep.
yeah, so
It
that
was.
makes sense. Yeah, no, I mean, Casey, like I said last episode, as long as I've known you, MSU hockey has been pretty mediocre. So the fact that they are the #1 ranked team in the country, it's amazing. They got Lindenwood this week, it looks like, in the series. So let's see. That's games at MSU. So hopefully they get to take care of business and
I'm sure
stay
they
number
will.
one. And
I'm sure.
yeah, I'm
Denver
hoping they
looked
can
like
stay
ASU
#1
has
for a while. So we
wrecked
can get
the polls.
yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised after BC lost twice, right? Didn't they
Yep.
lose twice?
But Denver got swept at home.
Yeah, Denver got
Arizona
swept. I did
State.
not see that one coming. I did
Yeah,
not.
or
Against
Denver.
ASU.
That's what I meant. I said BC. I
And
meant
then,
Denver. Yeah, Denver
Well,
got
BC split the weekend.
and
yeah
then
against
what?
UConn.
Northeastern.
Maine has
Oh,
hockey
again.
up
So
this
they lost
weekend.
again
Mhm.
after having trouble with UConn.
And then, if I'm not mistaken, Maine has RPI coming into the Alphon this weekend. That should
Yep.
be an easy sweep for Maine. And I don't knock on wood, but that
No, it's actually it's on the
It's
road.
at
It's on the road.
RPI.
It's
yeah.
at RPI.
It's at RPI.
okay. So it's at our. That still should be an easy sweep. Maybe a split. No, not a split, but a sweep. Win and a tie. I could see that potentially. But obviously, Maine's the better team than RPI. There's no doubt. They should sweep this series and improve to 10-2 on the season, or 11-2, what it would be. Are they 9-2 or 8-2?
They are 8-2-2.
8-2-2. So they should improve to 10-2 on the year, which, like I've been saying, this is the best Maine team I've seen in 20 years, probably since 04, Justin.
That says a lot.
Before I moved to Maine.
That says a lot.
Yeah, it does. And they were good last year. They were ranked all year last year too, but they were very top heavy. Only had 2 front lines that could score. They're very deep this year. I'm really excited. Alvin Boyja is top 10 nation goalie in the nation. What they say. I don't know his name, Sean, so I apologize. But your goalie's ranked number 1 in the nation.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yep, I'm aware.
I really hope. I want to see a Maine MSU tournament game. That's a game we'd all have to get on Skype together for, just because it would be thrilled to watch together. I think it would be great. College hockey has been a really fun season so far, guys. Really fun season.
Yeah. No, I can't wait to. When is the Frozen Four? When does that happen?
April.
We got a while to go.
Next year it's in Vegas.
You got to go to that, Ian.
We got to go to that. I'm not even in Vegas anymore. But we got to go to that. If Maine
you'll be back in Vegas by next year, though, won't you?
Oh yeah, no, you're right. That is a year away. I didn't even think about it like that. Yeah, no, I'm gonna be probably back out in Vegas by next year. But either way, I mean, how much are Frozen Four tickets? I mean, this last year, it's not nothing crazy. It's not like the Final Four.
No,
it's not near
no,
like
it's nothing like that.
No.
It's in Duluth, right?
This year it's in St. Louis, I think.
Oh, it's in St. Louis. It travels. For some reason, I always thought it was in Duluth, like every year.
No, it varies.
Gotcha.
So, are you boys ready for this question?
You've been excited about this one, so I'm excited to hear it.
So, you know how we've all seen a bunch of great sport movies and everything. What's one sporting historical event that's taken place that should be a movie that is not right now?
4 Days in October.
That's a movie already. There's a documentary out on 4 Days.
Okay, you could. I was thinking actually gonna make a movie.
You literally said the title.
The documentary don't count. That absolutely should be a movie.
Fair. Let's take out documentary.
Take out documentaries. Okay.
I mean, they made a documentary about like everything at this point, though.
That's what I'm saying. So if it's been a documentary.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you could go something like, say, for Justin's terms, fucking Tom Brady's life story, something of that nature. You know what I mean? You know how they made the Kurt Warner movie, like the Tom Brady movie, something. What's something that is not a movie that they should make into a movie?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Let's see.
Not like something like Fever Pitch, but maybe like the Boston Massacre and the Red Sox winning the series after that. Something like that.
Like the 23rd, like the Boston bombings for 2013.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
All the ones I'm thinking of, they got documentaries. Like shit.
I was actually at the World Series for that season, so I was kind of partial to that one.
I got it. The A's leaving Oakland.
That's a good one. That's
Sorry,
a super good one.
No, you're good. The A's leaving Oakland is a good one. I was gonna honestly say I like I mean there's a lot, but this is the first one that comes to mind, and this probably is gonna happen. Is like a Simone Biles movie. I like Olympic movies. The one about Jesse Owens was good.
Simone Biles that's a good one.
And there's not many gymnastics. There's not many gymnastics movies. I can't really.
No, there's not.
Michael Phelps would be good too. Yeah.
So
Olympic movies are good.
Too.
Yep.
I had a good one, but they've already made a TV series on it, so I'm not going to say it. So my answer is going to be the Manning family.
Okay.
Archie
going back from Archie, Manning, Cooper.
Yep. All the way down to Arch in Texas right now.
There's a 30 for 30 about that, I think.
There is.
Is there really?
Yes, there is. There is.
The Book of Manning.
Yep.
Give me a second then. Give me 1 second. That's the one I haven't seen that 30 for 30, so I didn't know.
Well, while you're thinking of yours though, just to touch on Sean's, no, that's a good one because Simone Biles, especially with what was it, the Tokyo Games, where I mean she was getting heavy criticism, and then they just came back and won again this year. Though I think Simone Biles
that's sat out because of mental health. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, that's a really good
Usain
one.
Bolt would be a good one too.
Usain Bolt.
I was thinking about that. Yeah, I was like, they haven't made when I think somebody said track. I was like, I thought about Usain Bolt.
Any Olympic story is usually a good story. If
Yeah,
it's,
'cause
like,
there's so much
worthy
you
of
can
telling the
push
story
out of
about. Yeah.
What about? Okay, this is off the top of my head. So because I was gonna go with the Manning one. The Zamboni driver who got to play a game in the NHL and won the game.
Yes, he played for Carolina up in Toronto.
Now, granted, that wouldn't amount to anything as far as like, he didn't go on to be the starting goaltender in the Stanley Cup or anything like that. But
Yeah.
or Andre Young, the guy who was on the Lakers G League squad for 10 years and then came into a Lakers game and scored 30 points.
Oh, Andre Ingram. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Ingram, thank you, Ian. Andre Ingram, thank you.
I want to add to this would be a sad movie, and there's a lot of documentaries on it, but I think a good motion picture about it would be good. Dale Earnhardt.
That's a really good one.
How we still don't have a movie? Well, no, they did have it was called 3. They did make like an ESP. Maybe
there's
like
a lot of documentary. Yeah. I mean,
no, it wasn't a documentary. It was a ESPN movie like back in like
ESPN film.
It was old. Yeah, like ESPN film, like an old movie.
I want to
back
see
when they were doing like Playmakers and all that.
So now this one would be out, of course, just because out of our answers here, technically, because it's been made into a TV series and there's so many documentaries on it. But a motion picture about the life of Aaron Hernandez would be great too.
Yep, I agree. Out of the realm of like,
I watched the American Sports Story show on FX. It was a trash show, but I could not stop watching.
Imagine a movie about Spygate.
Imagine a movie about a Gronk biopic.
A Gronk biopic, yeah.
That'd be a good. Yeah, I'd watch.
That you had to have Channing Tatum play in that movie. You have to.
Yeah, you would.
Cool.
But,
the question.
Anything you guys want to come off with tonight before we head out?
Not that I can think of. MSU took a tough loss in basketball, but hey, you know what? We fight on.
Sean, when we started the show, and I saw you guys were trailing by like 10 last time I checked. I'm assuming the game's much over by now, but
they made a comeback at the end apparently, but they lost still.
Yeah. No, that was a good Memphis team. It is what it is.
They're undefeated, aren't they? Memphis 6-0 now.
Yeah.
They came to Vegas and won. It was a close game against UNLV at halftime, and UNLV just came and ran their ass out the gym.
They got the dude Hunter. I don't know his first name, but that man could not miss a shot.
Been there, seen it 100 times over. It's just one of those games. That's the thing about basketball. If a guy gets a hot hand, he can absolutely take a game over.
Yeah. No, you're right, but it is what it is. Maui Invitational. They play tomorrow, so.
Who they got?
They play the winner of the game that's happening right now, I think. So
okay.
Once the show ends, I'm gonna go watch that.
Oh no, they I might be wrong, but they would because Michigan State won yesterday, so they'd probably play the loser of this game. The loser of in third place for third place.
Right. Yeah, you're right. I said winner. You're right.
Well, on that note, boys, I think it's time that we call it off on this show. This is the first show that we've all done on camera, and I think we keep it this way going forward. I like the flow of the show better when I can see your faces. So.
Thanks.
Well, if we go to Canada, don't forget Brigadown. Guess we went out there.
Fuck Phil.
Go fuck yourself, America. All right, boys.
Have a great night, boys.
Peace.